Your crazy prostitute wife that you gave your house to tries to get you thrown in jail on drug charges and then tries to pay someone to murder you, it's got to be somewhat satisfying to have that person call and ask you for help. It's like, I really need your help. And you're like, yeah, I bet you do. But you tried to kill me.
The clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
Time.
Just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land. I am Tommy C. And this shop at the point. We got a whole crew today. Mr. Nick Diorio is here, and Jeff, and of course the Dr. Zhivago. How are you, sir?
Yo.
Let's get right into it. I want to do something different. I just like I said before that I'm going to do stuff that I watch a ton of crime stuff on YouTube. That's the most content I take in. But I never thought it was really appropriate for the show. But this stuff is so funny. It's so ridiculous. And let me get you out of the way first. Nobody got hurt, but they could have real easy.
Yeah. The first thing we talked about, like the week we met, we talked about the Columbine shooting for like 3 hours.
That's true. Yeah. That's I mean, I guess today, like, I'm doing this one for me a little bit. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think
That's
you
okay.
will.
We're not missing any really fantastic stories.
There's not that many fantastic stories. Rather than just to open phones, I'm going to let you in on what I like to do on YouTube. I'm going to send you to an amazing channel if you like true crime that's unique from other ones. I watch a lot of Criminally Listed, and this guy is called JCS. Jim Can't Swim. He makes amazing videos. He manages to get a lot of interrogation videos directly from the police department. He also has a Patreon. Oh, look, Jeff's doing that thing again.
What?
He's doing that thing again.
What thing? Oh.
Yeah, he's doing that thing. What's the matter
with you? What the fuck?
You're probably doing something, you big dick shit.
I legit am not touching a thing.
You look like a GIF.
That happened to me. It's bandwidth, I think.
You look like a GIF, Jeff. Oh, thank you so much. High as a kite.
It's GIF.
GIF. It looks like a GIF, Jeff. All right. So I want to do this. I want you to really check out Jim Can't Swim. We're going to take some of his content, not all of it, and I'm going to tell you something. After we're done doing this, there's still going to be a lot for you to like and watch on there. We're going to get the heart of the story, but we're not going to. I don't want to. First of all, I want this to be considered fair use, so I don't want it claimed. But second of all, there's a lot more to this story that you can just kind of sink your teeth in and watch the video after you're done. We're going to do a reaction review in fair use and what have you. Before we get in here, I know it's not wise to complain about fans, and I will not call them out. Somebody in the chat about an hour before we went live, okay, said something to the effect of, I can hear the women bashing already. I might going to have to tune out on this. And actually, it really pissed me off. I don't find it. Find the tape of me bashing women. Find it. Have I bashed feminists? That's a political ideology. That doesn't represent women. And the first woman to tell you that was a woman in the other room from here who works in a primarily male job as an accountant and thinks all this feminist stuff is just a bunch of no-talent hoes that sit there and try to impose their will on everybody else. I have never said women are this or that or bad. If anything, I bash guys on their dorky habits and the way my love phones, the way they treat girls. I have never bashed women, and I'm not virtue signaling. I just don't like the accusation. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't even care so much if people believe that, because it would, first of all, it would be horseshit. But to sit there and say that I lay into girls, are you joking? Feminism isn't women. It's a political ideology and movement. And I got to be honest with you, I'm in really great company with people that don't like them, among other women. So I don't know. That really pissed me off. I don't bash women, ever. Ever have I bashed women. on
So
the basis of being women. You know, never
Basically,
done that.
what you're saying is to get bent. That's essentially what you're saying.
She's a paying customer, but no, but I just
We'll take
I like
your criticism.
sometimes I wonder what people think they're watching, you know, like or taking in, you know. Yeah, I'm female, form armor against the modern feminist movement. Shrugs. Yeah, do you hate women? I don't. I'm assuming you being a woman, all it's Lizzie. You know, neither do you. And this would be the worst example of criticizing a woman. This crime is a complete freak of nature, and not only that, women don't go to prison that often. You know, like our prisons are filled with men. I mean, the odds women don't commit crimes at the same level that men do. So this would be an awful example for me to pull up this freak of nature crime to say, see, because this is what feminists do to men, by the way. See what we got here? This is the problem. We have girls calling hitmen on their husbands. That's not a problem. The reason it's a story, it's a freak of nature. It's a
Are you saying this isn't a pandemic, Tommy?
No, it's not a pandemic. We don't have a lot of women.
Here.
I'd be the first to call it out.
The only women we bash on this platform is the ones that think that picture from Rico's college days is his new winter.
Yeah, God.
Gobble, gobble, Turkey Tom.
Another thing is, like, you look at the list of targets that I've had as far as YouTubers, 90% men, and the only women I really took on was, I don't think I even did a full, did I do a full show on Susie Lou? I don't remember. I mostly did on Augie's stream.
I'm pretty sure every woman that we've talked about that we bashed on has been rightfully bashed. They've
Yeah,
given us
and never on the basis that they had a pussy.
I think so, yeah.
You know, look, this is a guy's, look. This is the way I always saw this show. This is locker room talk, but we let everybody in the locker room. You know, it's not, you know, we're all a bunch of stupid white guys that just white people, you know, make content for whites, and it's not what's going on here. You know, we're letting everybody in the locker room talk, and God, it's just bashing women. Are you kidding me? I resent it as a father.
It's a huge reach. It's a
I'm
very,
raising a
very
woman.
huge reach.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know what look. If that's the way you feel, and this is the episode you had to skip, that's fine. I respect that. But I am not a women basher. I've never been. I've seen more women come into the show in the last 6 months than I saw in the last 5 years. So let's get into it. Okay, Jim Can't Swim. He's in the description box below. I want you to check this out. This is the type of content I like to take in. But Jim Can't Swim is a unique channel because it actually, instead of just telling the stories of the crimes or the mysteries or what have you, they actually get some of the tapes. Now, I don't know what Jim's qualifications are, but he does seem to be a psychologist, and he's a psychologist especially in a way to interrogate somebody or tactics on way cops interrogate people. That's not necessary in this because they got this bitch fucking dead to rights, right? But the reason I'm telling you about it is the coup de grace of this is there's a phone call that is absolutely hysterical. But unfortunately, nobody can explain this story better than Jim Can't Swim himself. So I'm going to get you updated on this particular situation. And as we go in and watch, one of the funniest things I've seen, like I was literally watching this 4 a.m. I've been having trouble sleeping, and I just couldn't stop laughing. So let's give it to Jim Can't Swim. We'll critique and review and praise his video. Here we go.
On February 2nd, 2009, Mike and Dalia made it official and got married. According to reports, Dalia appeared to be a very loving wife, always embracing her husband with public displays of affection and telling him how much she adored him, even to the point where people around them started to get uncomfortable. Just over a month into their marriage, in the early morning hours of March 12th, Michael's probation officer knocked at the door, with 2 deputies standing beside him. Michael had been convicted in 2001 for a fraud operation. He served 7 months in prison and was rendered 28 years of probation. This was the first
28 years of probation.
28 years
What
of
did he do?
probation? What the?
He must have skipped out on a life sentence. Holy Christmas. 28
damn,
years of
okay.
probation.
Sure.
I'd rather do 5 years than get 28 years of probation. I'd even think about doing 10 because you got that hanging over your head. Whoa.
time his PO had showed up
Rather get
unannounced.
pounded in the ass? I don't know. If I'd take
Could you
that.
imagine like somebody has drugs in their car or something like that, which has happened to me? I got this coke. What do you bring coke in my car for? You're done. All right, here's the rest of it.
7 months in prison and was rendered 28 years of probation.
Unbelievable.
This was the first time his PO had showed up unannounced, and Michael was informed that multiple calls had come in from an anonymous source, stating that he was selling steroids and ecstasy from the house. They presented him with a warrant and began to search the premises. If the allegation were proven to be true, Michael could have been sent back to prison for over 10 years. Luckily for him, no illegal substances were found. The next weekend, Dalia suggested a spur-of-the-moment romantic getaway in Palm Beach, and the couple stayed at a luxury hotel that Saturday night. But on the Sunday morning, police were waiting for them in the parking lot, stating they received an anonymous call that he was dealing drugs out of his car. They searched the vehicle, but once again found nothing. 2 weeks later, they went out to dinner, and on their way back to the car, police were waiting for them once more in the parking lot. Only this time they found a small bag of cocaine stashed inside a cigarette pack.
Not ideal.
Michael immediately broke down in tears, claiming that he had been set up and knew nothing about the drugs. Incredibly, the police believed him and
Just sugar.
Did you hear that?
Wait, what?
Go back.
What?
Rewind.
Rewind.
As somebody who used to dabble in the drug sphere and in a past life, and have dealt with cops in New Jersey, and I have friends that have done serious time in prison through drug-related offenses and violence. This is unheard of.
tears.
He fucking hit
claiming
the
that
lottery on this one.
Jeff, I can't. Ugh. Stop.
What?
I can't set it up. Hold on.
stashed inside a cigarette pack. Michael immediately broke down in tears, claiming that he had been set up and knew nothing about the drugs. Incredibly, the police believed him and decided not to make an arrest.
Did you hear that? This is
That's like 1 in a million.
That's literally 1 in a million. It doesn't even. You said something like that. It doesn't happen on TV shows. It doesn't happen. Like it only would happen on a TV show. It doesn't happen on TV shows.
That does not
I didn't
happen
do
on
it.
the TV
Yeah,
show.
tell it to the judge, buddy.
I've watched enough Law and Order to know that that's not true.
That's unheard of. So they must have been suspicious right off the bat.
They later testified that the first reason was due to the conspicuous and unusual hiding place for the cocaine.
That's even crazy to me because that's everything. If I was going to have cocaine in my car, I wouldn't have put it in my cigarettes. Yeah, right, buddy. You're just a moron. You're under arrest. You're going to jail for 28 years?
The second reason was their suspicions of his wife Dalia, who appeared emotionless as her husband was having a nervous breakdown.
They literally went on feels on that one. Just feels. Because they had every right to arrest him. Every right to send him back to prison.
On the ride home, as Dalia was driving, Michael realized that she was the only one who knew where they were going for dinner, and was the only person who had access to the car. So he asked her point blank if she had anything to do with it, and the accusation wasn't taken well. She put the pedal to the floor and got up to 190 on the freeway, all the while screaming at the top of her lungs, claiming to be astonished that he could even accuse her of such a thing. Out of fear of his life, Michael apologized and said that he didn't mean it.
I'm sorry, bitch. Slow down.
Next morning, Dalia was aware that Michael's suspicions had arisen and knew she had to divert his attention somehow. So just after making him breakfast, she gave him the incredibly exciting yet completely fictitious news that she was pregnant. Michael was ecstatic. They went out and bought baby books, and the dubious circumstances that occurred the night before appeared to have been forgotten.
So this chick knows how to manipulate. Knows. And let me just repeat again. It's this crazy bitch. You know, I tell you something. Every time there's a school shooting, they always they say this is a man problem, right? No, it's an evil man problem. This is an evil bitch problem. It's not common. Well, check this move out. I like this. My favorite. Look at this guy. She looks too good for him. You'll find out why.
That very same day, Dalia contacted her ex-lover, Mike Stanley, a guy she had already used for money and dumped on 3 separate occasions beforehand, yet managed to reel him back in with a single text.
How do you think she reeled him back in? Here we go. With crotch rot, yes. To be honest, the guy should be locked up for the Jersey Shore haircut. Yeah. Well, he is Italian. He can't help it. All right.
Yeah.
This is the text message she sent him. BB, I miss you so much. I want to fuck all me. It worked. Guys are so simple. They're so simple. I would have fell for that too.
He already fell for it 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool! I'm gonna get my dick wet. Let's go.
All right. See what she's got in store. These women must just think so little of men, and they probably have a right to after this. All this guy, all I gotta do is let this guy in my pussy, and he'll do whatever he wants. That's too funny.
After reuniting, Dalia hatched an extravagant plan. Mike would pose as a lawyer, contact Michael over the phone, and give him the misleading legal advice that in order for him to get off probation, he would need to move his house solely into his wife's name. Astonishingly enough, without doing his own research, Michael decided to take the advice from the mysterious caller at face value.
Are you kidding me? What?
This guy has 60 fucking IQ.
I don't know. Like I think he was because
she must have a magic fucking vagina.
Yes,
or
yeah, that's what it really is
my
going on.
God.
I really think that's going on because this guy. I mean, he got out of prison. He's totally turned around his life. He lives in a beautiful house. He's got money.
He's doing good.
He's doing fine. Good. He's he's an example of the justice system, the rehabilitation, which I don't believe in, working. This guy Dippolito. And another thing is, I didn't put a lot of Dippolito in here. You're gonna have to go check on Jim Can't Swim, the full video, right? But he's not stupid. He's like kind of one of us, you know. But he goes to the gym. Oh, he's like me, but he goes to the gym. You know. But yeah,
he can't be anything like me.
Here we go.
And he and his supposedly pregnant wife.
He's a dude. He's a bro. You know. He's a dude.
Wife then drove to the title house.
Look, he's a flawed dude too. Another thing, I didn't put this in there, but he actually his wife went on vacation, right? And he's like, you know what? I need a hooker. I'm gonna get an escort, and that happened to be this bitch. And he dumped his whole family for this girl. 6 months later, she tries to kill him.
Company to transfer ownership. Mike Stanley was then cut off without any explanation or even a farewell.
Thanks, bitch. You did your job, bitch.
Oh, what is Vin Diesel
funny.
doing in this?
Yeah. Well, you'll be surprised. This is Mr. Mohammed. He's got an interesting story.
Oh, jeez.
Is this what Vault looks like?
Yeah, this is Vault. She called Vault.
Dalia then turned to another ex-lover, Mohammed Shihadeh, who she must have thought was a more appropriate option for her next scheme. To cut a long story short, she asked Mohammed to hire a hitman to kill her husband. He neither accepted nor rejected the proposal, but instead of driving to work after their meeting, he drove...
shot on the eyes. What the fuck?
Listen closely. This guy's a hero, actually. You know that? Mr. Mohammed's a friggin' hero.
After their meeting,
Proceed.
I know. I can proceed every time you say something. Cut it off.
She asked Mohammed to hire a hitman to kill her husband. He neither accepted nor rejected the proposal, but instead of driving to work after their meeting, he drove to the Boynton Police Department to inform them of Dalia's intentions.
Ooh. Well, I guess she must have saw him as some kind of maniac. And he's like,
you got connections.
But the two things happen here. Either was, I finally get back at this bitch, and he is a maniac, or it's like, I ain't gonna kill your husband. That's fucked up. And he worried about the person, but he's kind of a hero either way.
The police then inserted a hidden camera into the backseat of Mohammed's vehicle and had him arrange a second rendezvous with Dalia to get definitive proof of her intentions. They got it. She was recorded on film handing over a photo of Michael, a photo of the house, and a $3,000 down payment for the assassination. The authorities had more than enough evidence to arrest Dalia immediately, but to further capture her intent and to really make the charges stick, they set up a second meeting with a supposed hitman, who is actually an undercover narcotics officer. And that brings us back to the very first moment Dalia looked directly into the hidden camera.
Between now and when it's done, you have to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, talking to him.
There's no changing. No, there's no.
I wouldn't have bought this guy for a minute. He speaks English too well for a black guy. Oh, so sorry. No, he doesn't sound like a street guy. I shouldn't have said that, but I mean that was a joke. But he doesn't sound like a street guy. I would have been suspicious right away. And
doesn't fit the type.
Yeah, he doesn't. He looks like a regular dude. Doesn't strike me as a street guy. Doesn't strike me as a cop either.
Done. You have to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, talking to him.
There's no changing. No, there's no I'm determined already. I'm positive, 5,000% sure. Around 6:30.
5,000% sure. So this open and shut already. This is open and shut. I mean, this is over.
7 o'clock. He always walks the dog in the morning.
Okay.
He walks the dog across, like over where the lake is, and our door is always unlocked.
I'll be in the house by 6:30 Wednesday morning. 6 o'clock.
A little bit there. So there we go. We got this girl dead to rights. Guys, she's acting. Interesting enough. Oh no, that would be her defense. And I hate she damn near beat this. But that's you that you're gonna have to do your own research on. What's amazing about this is the call, and what's going to infuriate you is just what I'm about to show you.
Sergeant Ramsey, I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had to.
Now this crime scene is completely made up. There is no crime scene here, but they made it look. The cops made it look like one. Yeah, once the money's exchanged, it's $3,000 down payment. That's it. Here we go.
Report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry. Listen. No. Try to calm down. Listen. Right now, what we need to get you to the police.
Go back a little bit.
I can't let you stand, man.
Yeah. I know what you want to do. We're gonna go back. She's literally she cries before he
says killed.
She cries before she gets real close. Watch.
He's been killed.
It's like immediate. Let's try it one more time. I hate doing it this way. I wish they had a better system. Watch really close.
I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call
Watch
you.
close.
Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed.
She said she cried at Ben. She cried at Ben. She was ready for this one.
That's
God.
That's
great. That's great.
That's
fantastic.
In the grass.
Oh, that's fantastic. I guess I'm bashing women here by pointing out this woman's a maniac.
He's been killed, man. I'm sorry. Listen.
No.
Try to calm down. Listen.
I keep on watching that cop pulling his ear in the background. It's like,
Right
He's
now,
like, what do I have to do to not bust out laughing?
yeah, I know. Look at me. He's looking down.
I can't let you stand, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay? We need you to calm down.
I'm gonna need an ID on that till confirmed.
Does he have enemies?
You know what this reminds me of? You see that scene in Casino when Joe Pesci beats the ever-living fuck out of the girl who played her. She should have got an Academy Award. Beats the ever-living fuck out of that chick, and he throws her down the stairs, and she starts walking away and saying, "You fucking asshole!" Yes. And he's like, "Bye, have a good night, be safe, don't fall down the stairs." This is what this reminds me of in some sense.
Is there anyone that would want to hurt him? Okay, who would want to hurt him? Witnesses said they saw a black male running from me. I can't let you see him, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot do this right now. Ma'am, I can't do it. Detective Yopi, I need you to take her to the station. I can't. Ma'am, go with these detectives.
And who can blame her? She wants to make sure he's dead.
Did I spend my money?
Yeah, he wasn't even get her money's worth.
Your husband, okay?
Who wouldn't? You want to check the check the product.
Okay. If you want to help your husband, you need to go to the station with these gentlemen.
Bye.
And tell us everything you know about who he knows, who he's connected to.
That's a lot of money, I
See
guess,
that your fucking dogs?
Taking care of dogs with animal control for right now. Everything's under control. And we'll take care of everything else. Okay?
Thank you, guys. Fantastic. So now,
here we go.
now, she has been told, she has been shown the video, right? She is still Sharon Stone. That's who it was. Great, she won the Academy Award for that one. She has been told, she's been shown the video, and she keeps saying, "No, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it." That's just like there's no explanation. There's just like she's pulling a Jeremy. No, you. Yeah.
No, you.
No, you. No, you. And quite remarkably, she has to go home.
I'd like to go home.
I know, but you can't. It's impossible. You're going to the Palm Beach County Jail after this. You can't go home. You're being arrested. This is not a game. In your mind, it might be a little game, but this is very, very serious. Murder? Are you kidding me?
It's murder.
Get used to this room.
This is about as good as it's gonna get right there.
Dalia refuses to give any sort of acknowledgement whatsoever, even after being confronted with the hidden camera footage. She was then taken to the Palm Beach Detention Center, professing her innocence the entire way. When she finally got to jail, she accepted the offer to make a phone call. Now, try and imagine yourself in her position. Now think of the absolute last person on planet Earth that you would call at that moment.
Her husband! She calls her husband! Now he's going to mention this in the tape, but I want to... You know how everybody uses to use the word gaslighting when they're being criticized or their arguments are being taken apart? No. Yeah. What you're about to see is actual gaslighting. No, that's not what happened. You didn't hear what you heard. That's gaslighting. Not when, hey, what you said is incorrect, and here's why, exhibit A, B, and fucking C. That's not gaslighting. Feminists would have you believe that, but it's not actually true. Here we go. You know, that's all Lizzie. That takes balls. Let me tell you something, Lizzie. This girl is not short of balls. She has balls in spades. She has backups for weeks. This girl is shameless.
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing, Mike. Come here.
Hey, listen, I don't want to fight with you. Honestly, I can't help you. Don't you understand what just happened?
What they're saying is not true.
How is that possible?
Like, I'm sitting there. It's not true. It's not possible. You wouldn't even give me 2 minutes to talk to you, but it's not possible. What they're saying is not true.
How in the hell did I hear it and see it?
Like, I heard what you heard. It's not true. I heard what you heard and I saw what you saw. Everything they showed you, they showed me.
Did you see that? Everything you heard, they showed me. But it's not true. That's gaslighting.
And
amazing.
How are you telling me that?
I am giving you my word that it's not true.
What Dalia is doing here is known as gaslighting, a textbook form of manipulation used by psychopaths, sociopaths, and all those with narcissistic...
And YouTubers. Who are mostly sociopaths. Well, you know, I never fear about gaslighting. Like, if you critically think and know how to argue, you can take apart a gaslighter quick with facts. Where you are vulnerable to a gaslighter is from a lover or a family, because only family can tell you something that's completely batshit insane, or your kids, and you believe it because you want to believe it. That's the only people it works with. Unfortunately, I think at some level he wants to believe this. I would have just hung up on her, you know. But hey, it's
bullshit. Personality disorder. She is trying to cultivate doubt into Michael's mind by making him question his own perceptions. She does this by using persistent denial and misdirection to try and destabilize his thought process. Yet the hole that Dalia had dug for herself on this occasion seems a little bit too deep for her device to have any sort of effect.
Dalia, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
Mike, please, I need an attorney. Can you please help me?
Why the Trump has been gaslighting the right-wing wacko like yourself, like with Russia. Okay. The crime they never found anything on, or any other American. Sure. Actually, you're the one gaslighting.
That's true.
Your brother was here and I spoke to him, and he's going to go talk to your mom. I called them for you already, right?
This is not true.
I understand it too. Like, how do you explain what I saw and heard?
Like, I am limited on my phone call. You know more than anybody. It's not true. Just give me time so I can talk to you.
What did it say? I saw it. I heard it.
I saw what you saw and I heard what you heard.
Okay, what the f***? You said you wanted to have me killed. I heard that.
What the fuck you wanted to kill? What's your problem?
Oh
my god! I'm making my wife watch this. I'm gonna make her watch this. I actually talked her into it.
Fantastic!
This is the best ever. Full 50-minute video. You got to see it.
That is not true. How can you believe that?
I
That is real manipulation. How is that not true? How can you not believe that? I mean, Jesus.
I heard your
she hasn't
voice.
given one fucking material fact, like why she hasn't. She hasn't even said like they set me up, you know, or she hasn't even tried that yet. She hasn't like her whole thing. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to make sense, you know. It's just you know me better than that type defense, which isn't a defense. It's actually a red flag.
Hey, babe, I got some blow. I got pussy. Come on, just pick me up, please. All right, fine.
This is funny.
You got it.
How can you believe it? What isn't the point? I heard you say it. It's not. I heard what you heard, and it's not. What did I hear then?
No answer.
No answer.
What did I hear? I lose my fucking gourd here?
I heard you say. I heard the tape. Okay, I heard the tape, and I saw pictures, and I saw the whole 9 yards. I saw all of it.
You did it. You were there. Of course you heard it. You might have watched the tape, but you're also there talking to the guy you thought would kill me.
They found a really good lookalike.
Yeah, she hasn't even said that, though.
This is the kind of production of a Hollywood film. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
CGI at its finest.
She hasn't even said that. Like, she hasn't even, she's just like, you know me. It's not true. It's, God. She argues like,
my cellmate's telling me the guy who made the new Star Wars movie.
By the way, Last Jedi sucked.
So why would you meet a guy in a parking lot? Explain that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here on the phone. I'm
sitting here on the phone.
Oh, I thought it was the fake
person. Please. I can't come there anyway. I'm not allowed there. That's not true. Who said that? They tell you that on purpose. That's not true. I don't know what you could tell me. Even if, let's pretend, I said, oh, it's all better. I can't. They're charging your ass. Don't you get it? I didn't do anything.
Oh, my God. and by the way, Michael Dippolito has done time. He knows how this whole thing works. He's been there.
Please. I don't know what to say to you. I can't help you.
Wish I could interview him.
It's out of my hands. You're not even trying.
You're not even trying. You're trying to buy your bullshit, lady.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh, now I gotta pay for your fucking thing.
What? Oh my God.
Oh my
God. Modern time. If this was now, this dude would already be on Tinder.
I would have got another escort. What's the odds of two of them being crazy? You know?
Oh.
Unbelievable. You're supposed to get me. You're my husband. You said death do us part. My mother did that.
Who's gonna pay my retainer?
My mother. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I was actually there when my mother gave my father the divorce papers, and she made a big scene of it. But it turned out it was a bluff gone horribly wrong. And she literally like rubbed her in the face. It was a power move. And I saw her like right in front of me, and my dad's telling me to get away. And apparently when I walked away, she said, sign these papers. And he grabbed them and here you go. Guess what happened as soon as my father signed the divorce papers? She broke out in tears. She had a complete fit. My father walked out of the house and drove to his parents' house and slept. And she said, I want to take you out to eat. There was a brand new Wendy's here. It was 1988, you know. And we're driving to the Wendy's, and my mother is in complete tears. And she actually says, he said from death to us part. The fact that she had handed him the divorce papers didn't seem to matter. So that's it. I feel like I'm listening to my mother. It's truly unbelievable.
I saw you with this guy in the truck or whatever the f*** it was. I saw it. I heard your voice clearly. What? I don't understand.
I did not.
I did not know you.
So how did they get your voice on that tape recorder?
Like, I'm limited with my time, please.
You get any details? He talks about the limitations of the time.
You gotta be kidding me, man. Dalia, I heard you say that shit.
Like,
Okay?
I'm telling you right now, okay?
You can't fix this. How are you going to tell me that you didn't say it, you didn't do it? When I saw you say it and I saw you do it.
Do you have any idea how I was when they told me what supposedly happened to you?
Yeah, you're pretty fucked up.
What?
We all saw it.
But I thought you were dead. I was all broken up.
I was worried about my fucking dogs.
Oh my God.
How I got and how I was and how everything? Can you meet me in person so I can talk to you?
No.
Meet me through the glass, please.
No. No. No.
Why?
Why?
Why should I?
This is the greatest telephone call in recorded history. Oh God! Somebody just said, "What?" It was C-Man said, "The bitch turned in my stomach." I don't, dude. This is an aberration.
This is light.
This doesn't happen every day. This is why it's so great.
I never, ever, 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 ever in my wildest dreams ever want that for you, ever.
I just paid $3,000 for it.
Just played $3,000 down payment.
Well, you said it. You hired a guy.
No, I did not say anything. Period. I didn't say anything.
Wow.
I don't know how you're going to actually have the nerve to sit here and lie to me now. I can't help you even if I wanted to. Do you get it?
Why don't you want to?
Clearly testifying against you, cunt.
It's out of my hands.
You're not even trying.
I love when she says that. You're not even trying. You're not even trying to make this relationship work. You said till death do us part.
It's different if you're trying. You're not even trying.
What could I possibly do
Let's go to marriage counseling. You know?
for you? I don't get it. What can I do?
You're not even trying.
Trying what? I'm sitting here like a dumbass.
Okay, they're getting ready to take me again.
Listen.
I'm going to give you some advice.
Dude, listen, he gives her the best advice humanly possible. And of course she doesn't take it. Because this is why I kind of like this guy. Because, I mean, I've had friends that did time and did some crazy stuff and what have you. And some of them come out kind of humbled. These are humble words. This is why this guy, I generally believe this guy, like, you know, I really feel bad for him because I think he really loved this girl. You know, he really should take himself to like.
How come every girl on True Crime is named Dalia?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't be on there if they weren't crazy. That's why. You know.
Is it just a name, like
Dalia? Oh, like you're thinking of Black Dahlia. You know? Well,
yeah, I'm saying, is that a fucking name?
Well, she was the victim in that. She got sewed in half. Alyssa seems like an angel compared to this girl. Yeah.
Hey, you need to listen.
Listen.
You're going to be running around in there for a little while, a couple days. You need to just try and relax and just go with it. And keep to yourself and don't say a lot.
Like, I love you. Don't do this to me. Everybody treated me awful, sir. I didn't do anything to you. You know me. I didn't want to do anything awful.
He didn't know you at all.
I can't help you. There's nothing I can do to help you. Know what I'll do? You know what I'll do for you? Seriously? What? You sign my house back over to me. I'll help you, Mom.
It was worth a shot, bucko.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Give me my house back. That's it.
That's it, what?
I'll have the papers sent over to you somehow. You'll sign them over to me, and then I will help your mother. Okay?
I'm not signing anything.
Yeah, notice the whole fucking context changes, their whole voice, the tone.
Yeah, but he knew it was coming. Watch.
I know you wouldn't sign anything. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I can't help you.
That's what you're thinking about. I'm sitting here rotting and you're thinking about
To help you. And again, you have the balls to say no to me.
Yeah.
You just basically said F you to me, which is hilarious considering your situation. Today.
Get fucked.
That was the greatest. greatest phone call
Yay.
of all time. Now, a lot of you say this did happen 10 years ago. But I don't know. I just wanted to do a different show. I thought this was really funny.
That is fantastic.
This is fantastic work this guy does. It's completely unique to other crime channels. It's called Jim Can't Swim. He'll take apart the other odd thing he did was the who's the prince that's in trouble with Epstein? Prince Andrew. The Prince Andrew thing. He goes over his stuff and his psychology and what have you. I think he's a really good video. And also let me stress too, with this Dalia one, there's plenty more here, and there's plenty more to laugh at. I just didn't just take the best parts. I just took a cohesive. I did a sort of a cohesive edit to get you the whole story without giving you all the really great details. So there's a lot out there. So highly recommend you sub if you like crime, and definitely watch that video if you don't, because it's fucking funny. That's as good as it gets. And you'll see a lot more from Michael Dippolito himself. You'll get where I'm coming from. You'll see just how wicked she is. And to give a little clip, she almost beat it.
How?
She's in Florida.
I think partly because she was a woman. I don't want to say. Go watch it. She came very close to beating it. She put up a fight. I'll give you an idea. That happened in 2009. She didn't get sentenced. She's got a hard sentence now. She's got to do 16 years. Has to do 16 minimum. And that was in 2017. So she justice was served. But she go check it out. Something happened with her original sentence. She initially got 20. So she got 16, initially got 20. But if you really think about it, it's a lot longer than that, because this has been going on since 2009. So from 2009 to 2017, and now she's got 16 starting in 2017. She's got 14 years left. So basically, she's getting somewhat more than 20 years. But I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think if that was a guy, she would have got life in prison. But I don't know. Like, it also depends. I've seen these murder for hire cases, and this is what they always do to you. They put you in a car with a cop, and it's bugged out. I've seen people do as little as 5 years. I remember this black woman. I saw her. Her husband was a preacher, and she went to somebody she thought was a hitman. It was a cop. The cop went to the preacher, and they said, "We really want to, do this thing up. We're gonna have a makeup artist come down here and to take crime scene photos like you've been killed." And they took the most I've looked at a lot of crime scene photos over the years. This looked like one. So when the girl reported her husband missing, her wife reported her husband missing, they brought a picture of her dead husband, supposedly her dead husband. It wasn't real. It was actually some little Hollywood job. And she did the same thing as this chick did. She broke out in tears and completely freaked out and everything. It really is unbelievable, and this is totally worth seeing. I'd be happy to take calls if you want to talk about this.
That's gotta be like a fun day to be a cop. I'm gonna hire a makeup guy. We're gonna make a whole crime scene up. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
we're gonna have coffee and donuts, and we might have some pizza in the afternoon.
Well, they tried to use that. They tried to use that. I don't know how it is, but they tried to use that as what do you call it? Not enticement. What's that?
Entrapment or whatever.
Entrapment, but I don't know how that's entrapment. Entrapment is if I repeatedly go to Jeff and say, "Jeff, sell me steroids," and he says no. Jeff, sell me steroids. Tell me steroids, and finally he just gets some steroids, just to shut me the fuck up. And now I nail him for fucking selling me steroids. You're probably gonna get off on that. They didn't need to entrap her. They got a report from a concerned citizen, and they put a cop in there.
Tipped off cops.
The cop said to her, the door's gonna close. You got to walk now if you're gonna walk from this, right? And she said, "I'm 5,000% sure." And she came with a down payment, told him where the guy was gonna be, and handed him pictures. It's game, set, match. The fact that this thing took almost a decade to solve, to finalize, is really a testament to how much you can fuck with the court system. So yeah, she won't be out.
I'm pretty sure.
It's 2030 when she's going to bring it. That's the soonest she can get out. She'll be 50 years old.
She just had a kid in 2016.
What's that?
And she had a kid in 2016, so that kid ain't gonna see mommy until.
No.
So she was really pregnant?
No, she wasn't pregnant. That happened in 2009. Somebody else got her pregnant. Probably thinking it was gay. She's a cornered rat. She'll do just about anything,
Yeah, the Blues actually had a former player get convicted of the same thing. I don't know all the
Oh, he was on the
details of
Devils
it, but
too, and he went to the Blues. I remember his name. Yeah,
Mike Danton.
Mike Danton. Yeah, Dan tried to kill the guy that used to molest him. That's those hockey, those fucking junior leagues. They have way too much power over those guys. Yeah, he got out around the time.
I'm pretty sure, wasn't the guy his agent?
Yeah, well, he was also fucking him in the ass when he was a child.
Well,
it was a complicated situation, but Dan did a long time.
Wait, literally?
Yes.
Oh,
Mike Dan. He was on the Devils. I remember he had a different He had a different name on the Devils, and then he got a legal name change because his dad was a bastard or something like that. He wasn't always called Mike Danton when he was on the Devils. But yeah, he tried to hire somebody to kill. But if you remember, Jeff, when we started Shot from the Point, like he had just gotten out of prison, went to the minor leagues. He was like a year or two younger than me. I'm sure he's out of hockey now, but he tried to keep his hockey career going. You know, I'm coughing like an idiot. Should have brought some water.
Yeah, Michael Stephen Jefferson to Michael Sage.
Yeah, he did. He was Mike Jefferson on the Devils. He was kind of a prospect, and then he changed his name to Dan, and then he got traded to St. Louis. Let's put Portugal in. Portugal, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, boys? What's up? Tommy, I'm gonna hire a hitman, and if I get caught, you're gonna pay for my lawyer, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, dude.
I would have screamed.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe.
Hey, Circuitry, how are you doing? Like, I would have just. First of all, the conversation wouldn't have gone that long, but I imagine he was just in shock, or maybe he was fucking with her. Maybe the whole thing was
just doing it to troll the fuck out of her.
Yeah, I'll help you with the lawyer to sign my house. I'm not signing anything. I don't know who the hell you think you are. Jesus, why would she sign it over? The whole fucking point was to sign his shit over and fucking kill him and take his shit.
Yeah, it's quite. I
really
think it's
a
quite
robbery if you
obvious
think
the
about it.
second she gets him to sign that house over, that the plan was to kill him and get everything.
I wonder if she didn't say anything in the video. I wonder if she kept the house. Or maybe
I don't know. Could she really afford the mortgage on the house, though?
I don't know. Well, maybe she sold it. Maybe he lost his house either way. Sign a fucking house over.
At least he got to keep the dogs.
That was.
How do you sell a house from jail?
I'm sure there's a way to do it. I mean, your property's still your property. You don't lose. They don't take everything away from you. That's not legal.
They take it if you can't pay your taxes on it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, who's to say you can't? You know, you got to actually not pay your taxes for them to do it. You know.
You would think it'd probably go back to him, and if he had the opportunity to pay for it,
he might been able to make the case that he signed that under duress, or he was fooled, or the contract's null and void, so he got the house back. But you got to go to court for that, even if she's in prison.
Yeah.
And that costs money.
No, that costs money. You know, well, I think this guy had money.
Oh, he probably did have money.
I think he had
Why
money.
else would she try to kill
the house
him? She would try to kill some no good.
The fact that this guy did time, had a 20-year, 8-year probation, which is like maddening. And straightened out his life like he did is kind of a testament to him. Maybe he had a relative that's rich and he gave him a good job. I don't know, but his story is unbelievable. He says some of the funniest shit in this video when he's on the stand. Like, I don't want to spoil any of it because there's so much more there, but you really should check it out. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Take
Vault's
care.
in the waiting to call, so you could just pull me out now if you want.
See ya.
Bye.
Vault, you're on here.
So I want to know, where the fuck do you find a fucking hitman?
Go to the ex-boyfriend. I don't know. Who looks crazy.
This shit is fucking crazy.
Yeah, like, well, you know, I was gonna get a picture of him. He, you know, in fairness to Dalia, if I want to hire this guy, might be the guy to go to. Look at him.
Yeah, fucking mama, look at him. He might know a guy or something. I don't know.
He does. He might know a guy. You know, he knows a guy.
Knows the cops.
Yeah,
the cops pretty well.
This guy's kind of a hero.
Yeah, I loved you as emo tapping the mummy. I was just wondering if you could get anybody to kill my husband.
Yeah. Freaking.
Listen, Muhammad, your fucking buddies, they blow up people. But listen, I want a quiet guy who can kill a guy for me.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
It's yeah, I guess. Well, it's called murder for hire, and it's highly illegal. There hasn't really been.
But don't say that, Muhammad. I want him to be dead silent.
Here's the thing about murder for hire. It's really uncommon in the States because it's like you hire somebody for murder, right? I mean, it's two people involved. You know, what does he say? You know, people don't talk unless, like, if three men don't talk unless two of them are dead. You know, it's like this. You already have a problem. And that's why the mafia gets away with it. They don't really actually contract murders. You're a part of a secret organization, and you're expected to do, you know, behave like a soldier, the member of La Cosa Nostra. That's how those guys get away with that shit. You know, Jeff's camera's all types of fucked up. I actually kind of love these repeat shifts.
God damn it.
Yeah. And, so hitmen are not very common. I mean, I even looked into Woody Harrelson's dad was apparently a hitman. He killed a judge for money, or apparently. But if you really look at Woody Harrelson's dad, he was just a stupid criminal. I mean, he didn't really have a track record that the police could put on. Somebody hired a judge, and the whole fucking thing went wrong, and everybody got caught. Murder for hire is not. I've heard about a dentist from St. Louis, I think, that did murder for hire. They think for several years, but I mean, he got nailed too. He was an independent contractor, but this is not very common. I had this great book called Careers in Crime. It was like a coffee table book, and they listed all the like really profitable. The really profitable crimes, and they based it on, like, you know, odds of getting caught, time in prison. Hitman was like the worst one. It was one of the worst ones. It was right next to like prison bitch, like people that smuggle shit into prison. That's like the very lowest end of a career in crime, because you're already looking at life in prison. It's premeditated murder in the United States. That's life in prison. Like, it's like automatic premeditated. The only time you do 10, 15 years for murder is like if you shoot somebody like in the heat of the moment, or you get like a manslaughter charge. Premeditated murder is a guaranteed life sentence.
Oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed life sentence in the United States. It should be. So you already have like two people talking. It's just really, and like, it's like Vault says, where do you go to find a murderer? You know,
it's crazy.
Yeah. It's not. The gangs murder organized, like, because they can. Everybody's bounded by a code, and that doesn't always work. But as far as like independent contractors, they're finding. You know that Richard Kuklinski guy that did the Iceman stuff. They're finding out everything he said was horse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he maybe was not a hitman for the mob. So there you go. Well, I think that's it.
All right.
Anything
Thanks.
else? Let me know in the comments below if you like this new type of show. I don't think we'll do it very often. And I would say the rest, I may be taking a lot of days off going into the Christmas break all the way into, so stick to the community tab and my Twitter. My Twitter and community is the best way to find out what I'm doing. There may be what do you call it? Time. I might take emergency time off here and there. So far, Kuklinski. Oh no, Kuklinski killed, but he killed his own. Like the guys they know he killed, Aaron, and this is what I'm talking about. All right, the guys they know it was in his little makeshift fucking crime family. Now he said he was doing hits for Roy DeMeo. Dominic Montiglio, who's still alive and lives in New York, says he saw him in the Gemini Lounge once, and he thinks the guy's utterly full of shit. Nobody in the mob vouched for him. Now, I know a friend that's a hack, and he was in Trenton State Prison, and Kuklinski was on his thing. Said he's a model prisoner, by the way. He said that in prison, like, people hang out in groups. Well, the La Cosa Nostra guys all hang out together, right? He hung out in that group, so maybe. And that's from a personal testimony from a guy. He had John List, the guy who killed his whole family, the one on the big one that happened in 1989, and Richard Kuklinski in the same cell block. That's pretty crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, he did. But he told me
Hollywood of killers.
Actually, he said that Kuklinski was a model prisoner, and John List was one of the biggest assholes he ever met. John List was a really religious guy who lost his job and decided that, you know, his whole family needed to die because they weren't religious enough, or they were all going to hell anyway. So he killed his whole family in Westfield, New Jersey, I think in 1968. Or 72, 68. In 1989, this artist made a bust of his face, what he might look like. It was a dead fucking ringer. Go write John List bust in Google right now. It was a dead ringer. And they caught him. So when my friend Joe was working in Trenton prison, he said he was one of the biggest asshole problem childs, and he was well into his 80s at that point, in the prisoner, because he's like, oh my God, look at all these dirty prisoners. What am I doing here? Because he thought he was above all of them. No! You fit right in. You killed your whole family. Guy killed fucking like 6 people. He shot them in the back of the heads as they came in from school. But Kuklinski just sort of, he accepted what he did. So Kuklinski did kill, but I think he killed later in his life. And he made up this whole hitman thing. Maybe he didn't protect himself in prison. Because he's a scary dude. Anyway. That's crime. Welcome to Shop from the Crime. I think we're done with that.
Shop from the Crime. There we go.
Shop from the Crime.
List had another family. Yes, he had another family, but no more children. For years. I remember they nailed him because Westfield's like really close to where I grew up. What?
Sorry to cut in. Some guy said in the chat, the hitman that killed Tupac is good.
Yeah, but I think he's part of the Crips, or he was in the gang.
Yeah, he was.
I think that guy was a hitman. That guy was. But my point is, most of them aren't independent. There's not guys you could just go out there and fucking pay. You'd have to do it within a gang. This is the only way to pull it off. Like I heard 30% of murders they only surprise like 30 to 40% of murders, depending on the state. People get away with murders all the fucking time. They just don't get away with murder on like Law and Order. The bad guy always loses in the end. It's not always like that. And some serial killers don't get caught. Look at the Zodiac. He never got nailed. The guy in fucking Long Island is dumping bodies all over the shore for the last 10 years. He never got caught. He's still out there. And this shit's only been going on within the last 10 years. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is stuff that I enjoy offline. What's the circuit sheet? I'll go into the paid Discord chat right after that, and I'll leave you all with finish Heizekite. What say your outro comment?
Yeah. I had a girlfriend like 10 years ago.
I don't believe you.
Fuck you, virgin. So we dated like 3 months, and after that I said this is over, this is not gonna work. So she got fucking pissed and mad, and after a week she called me and told me that she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, aborted? And she was like, no, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And after that, I was gonna do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
2 months.
You're really not making a good case for being a stand-up guy, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Aborted. Get the fuck out of here.
It's okay. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Heizekite.
2 months went by, and I saw her best friend at a bar, and she came to me, and she said to me like, "No, she's not really pregnant. She's trying to fool you."
Happened to me.
Yep.
And then she had that child 9 months later, and I was really surprised about it.
Where is this going, Kite?
Hitman on me.
Did you have the bitch killed? I mean,
No. I bought that girl a shot of vodka.
Yeah.
And after that, I called the bitch, and I said to her, if I ever see you again, I will kick you in the cunt.
Did she ever come to see you?
On you?
Did she ever come to see you again, Heizekite? You know what you did? You should have gave her some vodka. It's like you did the other way. You just drank poison. Let her fucking sit on that. That would have been a good move.
You just killed a baby. How dare you?
Just kill the baby. Now your baby's gonna have Down syndrome.
Yeah, baby. No. Like you got 10 minutes to live.
Yeah. Oh, the baby is gonna come out like.
The cops got to prove you said it. I didn't say
baby's blowbacks now.
I have no idea. Why am I ending on this note? I don't understand.
It's okay. It's fine.
Here I am trying to prove to the world that women are terrible, and I had this perfect example. And Heizekite came and screwed it up. And then it's come. They were right.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town, the King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated, the evolution of Machiavelli. Kelly. Don't make me
I love those drums,
you
man.
like I'm Ship Kelly.
Simple.
They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headline.
I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot.